Pending sales are up over 16% from February to March despite higher interest rates. Today we are bringing you a month-over-month overview of the San Diego County real estate market.
Let's take a look at what's happened over the past few weeks, and then we'll zoom out to look at long-term trends. All right, here's an overview of what happened between February and March.
All right, so new listings up over 32%, almost 33% from February to March. So sellers are out in force listing properties as we head into spring here. Pending sales up 16.3%, as I mentioned. Looking at closed sales, those are up 26.1%. Days on market are down. Median price up yet again, just a little bit. And the number of homes for sale up 15.7%. And that is essentially the difference between new listings and pending sales.
All right, so we've got the spring selling season coming into effect here.
Yes.
Let's take a look at long-term trends, and I want to talk about the long charts just for a second.
Good.
If you've been around for a while, you may have heard us complaining about the San Diego Association of Realtors charts that we usually use. They've only been giving us like the last 5 years.
They stink.
Yeah, we need long charts.
Yes.
So I took all the data from since 2014 and put it into a spreadsheet and made our own charts so we can mix and match however we want. And you won't hear us complaining anymore about the other charts.
We have broken free of the shackles of San Diego Association of Realtors monthly data, and we now are in control of the data that we show you.
Well, we'll see about that. Let's have a look.
So now we can't blame SDAR when it's wrong.
Okay, and let's get started with new listings and closed sales. And I put these on the same slide because I thought it would be interesting to see the relationship between the two. So let's talk about it and see how that works.
Yeah, it is interesting to see the relationship between the two. And I notice you've created a nice little void here where you can put us. That's cool. All right, so as we always say, closed sales are a lagging indicator, and you can absolutely see that here. You see that new listings go down here, closed sales come down, a month or so later. So going back to 2014, we can see new listings in blue, closed sales in red. And of course, back then, a lot more overall activity happening until you get to our sort of, it's actually kind of post-pandemic when things really get weird.
Yeah, the pattern gets a little wonky.
Yeah.
A lot wonky.
A lot, yes. I mean, as one might expect, there was less real estate activity, in 2020 than the year before. However, what really changed things is when interest rates went up. Right about here, everything changed. The lock-in effect started to take the lock-in effect started to take effect, and just less overall real estate activity from the middle of 2022 until now.
All right, I think the next slide is median price. Yes, median price. Here we go.
And this is a good one because we can see median price. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm always talking about how you would have to imagine the trend lines too in the SDAR charts, but I put trend lines in here, so now we have our own trend lines.
You don't have to imagine the trend lines anymore. You can see them right here. Going back to 2014, you can see where median price was back then. You can see where it is now. And I always talk in my zip code by zip code updates and my weekly updates. I talk about median prices being stagnant for at least the last 2 years, if not longer. And you can see that here. The trend is up. However, what you see heading into 2024, it goes up, it comes down. Heading into 25, it goes up, it comes down. And now as we're heading into 2026, it's on the way back up again. And you can see that also in the inventory numbers. As that inventory goes up, median price starts to come down.
And I did put that in a chart. In fact, I put all of these metrics in one chart, which is really interesting to look at if you're a data nerd, but it's kind of messy and cluttered. So I didn't put that next time for this time. But if you want to see the messy data with all the stuff on the chart, let us know in the comments, and we'll talk about that next time.
We felt it was just a little bit busy to show you in a video. However, it is interesting to see all these metrics and how they work together on one chart. And we can do that now because we control our own data.
We can do whatever we want.
Yes. I mean, we're still pulling the data from the MLS. That's where the data comes from. It's just not coming from the MLS to SDAR. To us, it's It's a straight line. We've eliminated the middle person.
We could also add a line for like the median price of a California burrito. That would be an interesting chart.
You could throw that in there too.
If you want to let us know, put it in the comments.
To make it more relatable. Yes. Also, interesting would be the average cost of, say, homeowners insurance.
Maybe more relevant than a California burrito.
Perhaps, but also more depressing. So.
All right, let's look at inventory of homes for sale.
Everybody loves a California burrito.
Even if you're a vegetarian, I would eat it with just the fries and the guac and the cheese.
Okay, well, I could make you some. I could make you one with some, other vegetable-based protein.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not talking about that now. Okay, inventory of homes for sale. This is really what's been driving that oscillation in median price over the last few years. And you can see where we are now, nearing heading up towards 5,500 now, and it's been rising. Inventory of homes for sale fairly steadily since the fourth quarter of last year, but definitely since the first of this year. And you can see the same thing happening last year, and the year before that it was a little flat and then went up. But in general, you can see inventory coming up right after the first of the year. But then when you go all the way back here to 2014, you see that it was, in the middle of 2014, 9,500 units. And then as we get into 2022, when interest rates went up, it shot up, prices went down, so on and so forth. So you can see that the inventory of homes for sale is really driving a lot, and interest rates are basically driving the inventory of homes for sale as well.
All right. Well, are we ready to talk about interest rates?
Sure. Let's talk about it.
So I didn't recreate the slide for interest rates because Freddie Mac already does a pretty good job with that, and we'll just let Freddie Mac take this one.
Yeah, we'll let them do that.
Let me switch over to there. All right. Here's what Freddie Mac has for us, and interest rates not looking great, but a little better than last week. So. Tell us what's going on.
Well, this week they broke the 5-week increase trend down to 6.37. It's hard to believe that it was merely 5 short weeks ago when we were celebrating rates below 6. And then, the situation changed as it often does. And 10-year,
surprise.
Yeah, surprise. 10-year treasuries on the rise over the past few weeks. So that pushed rates up to an average of 6.46 last week and down to 6.37 this week. Surprisingly, I was surprised, and pleasantly so, that pending sales really didn't suffer a bunch when rates spiked up like this.
That is surprising.
I mean, we are so conditioned to ultra low interest rates, even still, that we're expecting the world to come unglued when they jump up a quarter point. But 6.46 historically is not a high interest rate. It's just that prices are very high, and of course, higher rates push potential buyers out of the market and keep sellers trapped in homes. However, new buyers coming into the marketplace are very accustomed to rates in the 6s, and pending sales really didn't blink when rates went up. So that is encouraging.
Okay, well, it is the spring selling season too, so
it is.
Hopefully we'll get these rates pushed down a little bit more and get more people out there. Anybody who wants to buy or sell, we want them to be able to buy or sell, so let's get it going.
Yes, we do. And speaking of that, if you are thinking of selling or buying this spring season, summer or fall, send us a message, give us a call. And I've started talking in my zip code updates about, if you want your home evaluated personally by me, you can grab me right off YouTube and get me in your living room.
People do too. They text you off YouTube, and you'll go to their house and take a look. No obligation. Just let them know what you think, what it might sell for. And
yep. They open the door and they're like, "Hey, you're that guy." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the guy from YouTube. I'm here in your house. Isn't this exciting?"
You too can have a guy from YouTube in your living room.
There aren't too many YouTube celebrities that you can just summon to your house. I'm one of those.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, is that it for this month?
That's it for March. We'll be back with more great real estate information for you, so stay tuned for that.
Okay. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, invite Eric to your house,
That's right.
and we'll see you next time.
See you later.